Hey everyone, welcome to Stoney Sessions podcast.
Let this time minister to your heart, speak to your spirit, and meet you right where you're at.
Whether you're driving, winding down, or just starting your day.
Thanks for being here.
Let's dive in. With me today is Pastor Nathan Bills and myself, Nate Kingsbury, and we have a very special guest, Nate, today.
Very special.
I know, my father-in-law, Pastor, Bishop, Holy Man Ben MONCIVAIZ. We're so glad you're here, Ben.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, Ben's been staying with me for 16 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm counting. I mean, it's a
I'll
lot
be
of
praying for
days,
him.
man.
I'll be praying for him.
Oh,
I
you
know
already
we don't
said-
need to pray for you. We need to pray for him.
Why does everybody say that? That's so
Hi,
horrible.
Bonnie.
I wonder.
Yeah, right. You don't actually wonder. I know you don't. You know.
Oh my goodness. So today is episode 16, which is awesome. Me and Matt were talking about today, one of our tech guys who kind of runs our tech department. He goes, man, it's 16 episode. That's crazy.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
think about it.
It's Christmas Eve, man.
I know.
So,
I know.
Happy.
And you speak today, buddy.
I know. I'm a little nervous. No, I'm not. It'll be good.
You're ready.
It'll be good.
So today we're talking with Ben about finding purpose in retirement. And he almost didn't do this, Nate. Like I had to kind of talk him into it. And then one day he calls me up and he's like, I think I'll do that podcast.
I'm so happy you said yes.
What changed you to decide to do it? What made you do this, Ben?
Well, I gave it some thought, and it only happened after I heard you guys on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys do such a fabulous job. And I thought, I want to be a part of that.
That's
cool.
awesome.
And so what you guys are doing is just incredible.
Yeah.
The speakers that you've had, just wonderful.
Yeah.
And so when there's something wonderful, I want to be part of it.
Good.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
So,
And you'll add to
yeah.
that. So,
I hope so.
Ben, tell us before he gets into some of these
Yeah.
questions, just tell us real quickly, kind of like where you're at, because I don't remember
Yeah.
if that's one of the questions
I
we're
don't
going to
think
ask
it
him.
is,
But like
actually.
you're up here from the South right now.
Yes,
so,
we live in, Faith and I, my wife, we live in Houston.
Yeah.
And our son, well, we moved in right across the street from our son.
Okay. Cool.
And so after retiring, that's where we ended up.
Yeah.
And so that's where we do life.
If I would have been thinking about it, I would have given you a Buc-ee's shopping list.
Oh,
Is there Buc-ee's like all around your house? I mean, just.
yeah.
Oh, man,
yeah.
I'm so
Do you
jealous
remember
right
though
now.
that I introduced you?
I
to
know,
Buc-ee's?
but I'm
I feel
so
like you
jealous.
never give me
I-
credit
okay.
on the fact that I
I-
show you Buc-ee's.
I'm
and you go,
sorry.
I just want to do that.
Yeah.
Really,
You-
tell the audience who you met at Buc-ee's recently though. That's crazy.
When we met Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah.
Yeah. We met Lenny Kravitz at the Daytona Beach, or the Daytona Buc-ee's when we were there in Florida a couple years ago.
Oh.
So that's pretty special.
Yeah.
But man, I'm like, I'm praying for a Buc-ee's to come to Michigan.
He goes there more than me now. Once he went,
Oh.
like he does not miss that place.
If I'm near it, man, I almost drove 3 hours out of the way one way and then 3 hours back the other way when we were down in Kentucky for one of Hayden's football games.
Does
But
Bethany like it like you, or is it more your
no,
obsession?
I mean she thinks it's cool,
Yeah.
but she doesn't get that excited about it.
Wow.
So,
Well, some of your listeners might not know what a
yeah,
Buc-ee's is.
Yeah.
there's so many
Go ahead.
people.
It's like a gigantic Walmart.
It is,
but it's a gas station.
It's like a Walmart that isn't exactly like Walmart. Like when you think
Yeah.
of like when you go inside, all the gifts and food and sweets and I mean it's just this place
got
is so
brisket in there.
incredible. Yeah,
Brisket
the beaver
sandwiches. Yeah,
nuggets.
yeah.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would have had you bring me some.
So I want to tell you
We're
this,
still
just so
off
you know,
topic,
we
but-
are totally talking about retirement. We're on Buc-ee's, but I do want to say Nate with Chick-fil-A and Buc-ee's are the
Yeah.
places for
Yeah,
him.
those are my
Yeah,
favorites.
those are his places.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, they have like 110 pumps.
Yes, gas
Yeah.
pumps.
It's
yeah,
incredible.
Yeah,
it is.
And the bathrooms are so clean, man. I mean, whoever wants to even use a bathroom at a gas station, but
It really is.
They
but it's
are.
just so funny that there's that much more detail.
I'm pretty
to
sure
your-
they actually hire a person, and that is like their whole job. The whole time they're there for like their shift is just to stay at the bathroom. To
That's
make sure
what
it's
Ben
clean.
has thought about doing in his retirement.
Yeah,
Because
right.
I'm
That's
getting
a
us
good-
back,
that's a good
back
transition.
transition back in.
Good
Yeah,
transition.
well, next time I'll bring you something
right.
now that I know.
Here we go. Thanks, Ben.
You will. All right, Ben. Let me ask this first question. Then, Ben, tell us about some of your jobs that you had before being a pastor, and when did you know that you were called to ministry? I kind of put those together, but I find it very interesting because I know a little bit of your story about the coal mine and different things. Just give us a little bit about that.
Oh my! If you allow me, I'll just go real quickly.
Yeah.
through some. I started off working when I was 8 years old.
Wow.
My dad made me a shoe shine box and took me downtown, and I'd stay there all day and shine shoes.
Wow.
And then from there, we hit the fields, agricultural fields, from picking onions and potatoes and grapes and so on. So I've been a shoe shiner.
Where
I've been
was
a-
that, Ben? Where did
That was
you
in
grow
Arizona.
up?
I grew up in
okay.
Arizona.
I'm going to ask you, Ben, and just pull that a little closer to you.
Yep.
Just-
Okay. And then from there, of course, I started school. My first check, with a check type of job was working at a grocery store. So I've done that. And then I went off to college. And in college, I worked for the University of Arizona as an equipment manager.
Okay.
And after a semester that I attended there, the coach came up to me and he said, would you like a full ride scholarship? And so I had a full ride scholarship
For what
at
sport?
at University of Arizona for the football team.
Whoa.
And so I traveled with them and I took care of all the equipment.
That's
and,
awesome.
So I got through school. When I got out of school, I was debt free.
Okay, that is incredible.
And so then I,
Hold on, I gotta stop. Every time there's an Arizona game on, too, like
Yeah.
we gotta watch it when he's
Yeah.
at the house because he's
Hey,
like,
that's
it's so
cool.
cool.
anyway, from there, I became a teacher. That was my education. And I started teaching, but the salary was very low. And I moved from the town that I was in to Tucson. And my wife by then was Faith, and she wanted to do some schooling. So we went to Tucson, and I couldn't find a job. So I ended up working for an insurance company selling insurance. And it was rough, very rough.
Yeah.
And so we were struggling financially so badly that I did that for 3 years. And I told Faith, I've got to look for another job. And so Faith is from Pennsylvania. So we went on vacation to Pennsylvania. And on the way back, we stopped to see my sister in Gillette, Wyoming. And it was there in Wyoming, by God's providence, that I ended up interviewing for a job. Very, very good job. And the guy told me that I had the job. So we took it. He said, well, and I didn't take it fully. He said, well, think about it. And on the way home, you guys decide, call me back, and then you can make arrangements, sell your house, do whatever. So on the way home, we prayed about it and talked about it. And we decided, let's make the move. So we left Tucson, moved to Gillette, Wyoming, and I presented myself to the job. And a long story short, when he finally showed up a month later, because he wouldn't see me, he said, "I'm sorry, I can't give you the job that I promised you."
Oh, geez.
And so I asked him, I said, "Why not?" He said, "Well, you're Mexican."
Oh,
And my higher ups won't let me hire you, but I'll give you a job being a salesperson on the phone because they won't see you and your English is really, really good. But anyway, God's providence. And so I ended up going to the coal mine where that was a very good job as well. So I ended up at the coal mine driving truck. I came up halfway up to the tire.
Yeah.
So it was a humongous 170 tons of dirt and coal that we would move.
Wow.
And it was during that time that that the Lord laid on my heart in a very, very strong way to serve Him. And so we ended up saying yes to the Lord. And we left after 5 years of working there, we left that job and went to as volunteers to Mexico as teachers at the Bible school. So yeah, so those are the jobs that I've had, and then after that, again, God leading, I ended up as a pastor and pastored until my retirement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
So you said Faith was from Pennsylvania and you grew up in Arizona.
That's correct.
And where was it that the two of you met?
Well, we met on a missions trip
Okay.
back in 1976.
Okay.
And we met the first time she saw me. She fell in love with me and wanted to marry me. Of course, that's the other way around. But after we had seen each other and talked, because she lived in California at that time.
Oh, okay.
I lived in a small town, Wilcox, Arizona, and we would talk to each other for a whole month. We talked after meeting,
Yeah.
and so she came to Phoenix, where my mother lived, actually Chandler, and my brother brought her
Okay.
to see me.
Wow.
And so it was there that I asked my mother, I said, "What do you think of Faith?" She said, "Oh, yeah, I think she's the one."
Mm-hmm.
So what was I to do?
Yeah.
So that Saturday, after knowing her for a month, I proposed.
Oh
And,
my
she-
gosh.
and she said,
awesome.
and she
That's
said yes.
amazing. Yeah.
But that yes was kind of iffy because,
Man.
and this is another story that we won't get into.
Yeah.
But she said yes, although she was engaged.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Goodness sakes.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah, it really is. And you've been talking about God's providence, and it sounds like it's been all over your life. And Ben, you mentioned just a minute ago that you've been a pastor. I mean, you've been a lot of different things, wore a lot of different hats. But can you tell us a little bit about like what some of your ministry experience has been? Like where some of the churches were that you pastored at? Maybe what your role was in those churches?
Yeah, my first role in ministry was, of course, at the Bible school.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about Bible schools or seminary or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so when and of course I'm a volunteer. I've not had any Bible training.
Wow. Okay.
And when we got to Mexico, they assigned me to teach at the Bible school. So I was a teacher there, but I was teaching courses that were ministry related, and from pastors to missionaries, whatever you might have in ministry. And so in my 8 years there at the Bible school, not only did I teach most of the courses that we gave,
Yeah.
because of circumstances, but I also had become the director of the Bible school, so that was a different role. And by the time I left the Bible school, I had my own training per se.
And so that was all without really any experience?
That was
Like
without any
ministry?
experience.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I remember the first week that I was there at the Bible school. Even before classes started, I was asked to speak / preach
Wow.
at the what do they
I
call it?
think I remember hearing
The
that.
inauguration
Yeah.
address for the Bible school. So, and I only had like 4 hours to prepare,
Oh, geez.
Wow.
and I'd never preached before.
Yeah.
They were asking me to preach, and I did. I was in God's hands, and God just led the way, inspired me, in very quickly to come up with a message, and boom, there it was.
That's awesome.
And so I knew that God would be with me from then on.
Yeah.
And it seemed like every week I was off somewhere into some of the churches up in the mountain areas, and speaking and preaching,
That's awesome.
and so that was the beginning.
Cool.
Yeah.
So where did you go from there then? Once you left the Bible school, what was the next step in ministry?
Then after that, we actually came home after 8 years, and we lived in Marion. I went to Indiana Wesleyan
Okay.
to do a master's degree,
okay,
and
cool,
then so when I did that and finished that, we went back to Mexico.
When you were I just wonder, when you were in Marion, were you working too with that?
Yeah,
Or Faith
absolutely.
was working too, right?
Yes,
So,
we were
yeah.
both working. We were still assigned as missionaries, so I had to visit other churches here in the
Okay.
States
Okay.
to drum up some support and for missions. And so during that time, I was very, very busy. Sometimes I'd have to miss class and get permission to miss class because every weekend I was busy, traveling, to all parts of the country, and speaking.
What were you
at
studying?
churches.
What were you getting your master's in? Or?
My master's was in ministerial education.
Okay.
Cool.
So really, that was like your formal like training for ministry was that?
That
Okay.
was my formal training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I think of that scripture, even though I know how intelligent you are, you know what I mean? When that scripture that says, in Acts 4:13, when they saw the courage of Peter and John, realized they're unschooled, ordinary men, they took note that these men have been with Jesus. Here you didn't even have your training for Bible up at that time, but God was using you like you already were trained.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and I emulated a lot of the pastors that had been my pastors,
Yeah.
and speakers, evangelists, and whatnot. And so I kind of had an idea
Yeah.
of what preaching should look like.
Yeah.
Of course, I had my own style,
Yeah.
and so on.
So what else did you do? You went to then you moved on.
So we went back to Mexico, to the city of Monterrey, the third largest city in Mexico, and we planted a church.
Okay.
And I'd never done that before. And so we planted a church. After that 4 years and established a church there, we came back to the U.S.
Okay.
for faith to get more training,
Okay.
not knowing that we would never return to Mexico.
okay.
That was our desire. Our desire was to die in Mexico, spend all our life there serving. But that's not, again, Nathan,
God had a
the
different
providence of
plan.
God. And so we ended up staying in the area of DeKalb, Illinois, near Chicago, and we planted our second church. And then we were there for 4 years, and after that we went on over to the Mississippi River, there in Illinois, in the area of Rock Island, and moved there and planted our third Hispanic church. These are all Hispanic churches, and there's a great need for Hispanic work, and so we ended up planting that third church, and was a great success.
You were there for quite a while.
We were there for
was that over 10 years?
15
okay,
years.
15 years,
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait a minute. That was 15, 16
yeah.
years
Yeah.
around there, and it was a great way to finish ministry. I loved it. We had a lot of success, and
Even had your own building, right? You guys got away
Yes.
from the church where you were in a certain area, and then they bought a building, right? Am I correct?
Yes, we bought an elementary school that had a gym and a cafeteria, and so that was a miracle of God how He moved.
Oh, that's great.
And the building was worth $1 million. The district wanted about $1 million for it, and I said, well, when I went to see it, I thought, well, you want that much, and I kind of just laughed inside. But I knew that we served a great and powerful God, and He has, He's our resource. And so, when it was all said and done, we bought the building for $50,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that was all God.
Oh, yeah.
Just real quickly, it was going to go in auction, a closed auction, which you don't know what everybody is bidding.
Oh, okay.
And the last week, I think it was the last week, they called us and said, we're going to open the auction. Anybody can come, and it'll be just public, not private, where you put in an envelope. No, it was going to be open. And so the church started praying, and we announced it to tell the senior pastor, announced, everybody start praying that nobody else shows up to the auction. And the time came, and the minute, that it was supposed to start, the auctioneer started, and we were the only ones there.
Oh my gosh.
And so I had $50,000 in hand, and that's all we could offer.
That is amazing.
And so that's what it went for.
Wow,
is
that's a
amazing.
great story.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say this, that a lot of times when Ben had a very good size Hispanic church, and like he would never be a person that would like talk about that, because that's not who he is.
Yeah.
But God used him
Oh, I'm
significantly, and the one thing is that Ben is a good communicator, he really is, but what he really truly is a shepherd of people.
Yeah.
He has the ability to just love people well, and to sit with someone that he meets for the very first time and they feel like they've known him forever.
That's cool.
And people just love him. So he's not just a good communicator. He truly is the definition of a pastor who's a shepherd. So
Thank you, Nate.
so good
Thank
to
you.
see that so many times, just observing and watching you. And I met somebody that actually talks more than me. I'm
Really?
dead serious. I'm
Wow.
dead serious. So
That's hard to believe.
anyway, well, let me ask you this other question. So when and why did you retire, and how did you know that it was time? Like, because you were at Heritage, and there came a time where you're like, okay. And even I remember when you were telling me, I was like, man, I just don't know, because like you're so gifted at it. But what made you come to that place and that decision to actually make that call?
About in 2014, I think it was about 63 or so. And our senior pastor came into my office and said, "You need to write a succession plan." And I said, "What do you mean a succession plan?" He says, "Yeah, you're going to retire. You need to start making a plan for retirement." And at that time, I mean, you're going full speed ahead, you know, in ministry and being successful. And I had never thought about retiring. I wanted to keep going until I dropped dead.
Yeah.
And so he started talking about that, and so a year went by, and he said, "Ben, you haven't turned in your succession plan." I said, and I told John, the senior pastor, I said, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. There's still so much to do.
Wow.
And so I said, so I just ignored it. But by 2015, we had bought the school for $50,000, and so there was so much to do. Retirement was not in my plan, and not even in my sight. So in 2016, I started noticing that I was having trouble writing. I started shaking. My hands started shaking, and so I didn't really think much about it. But then I really started. By 2017, I was struggling so badly. I couldn't even write on my computer, and I discovered that I had what they call ETs, essential tremors, and if I were to write on a piece of paper now and show it to you, you probably wouldn't be able to write to read it. And so I started trying to find out how I could do ministry without being noticeable. One of the things that in Hispanic ministry, the pastors invited to the homes to come and eat, especially. And so eating became a problem for me. I spilled my coffee, I spilled the food, and so I finally started thinking, I'm not sure I can continue doing this. So then retirement came to the top of the pile of documents, the things to do to take care of, and it became a priority. So by 2018, I made the decision, and after talking and praying with faith, we decided that it's time. So we made a plan. What are we going to do? And so we put the plan to work, and it happened. And so in 2018, we retired, and we got into our fifth wheel and our pickup, and we took off for an entire year, and we traveled the country, and with the one purpose: let's find a place where we want to spend the rest of our life. So we ended up in Texas.
So this isn't one of the questions that I gave you early, but how hard was that, Ben? Like, I mean, it sounded to me like you didn't really want to retire, but the shakes and the things that you were dealing with forced something, but yet you're so gifted and you're so good at it. Like, what was that really like?
Well, it became almost depressive, because now your identity is taken from you. you've done ministry for so long, and that's all I knew. Unless I went back to shoe shining, I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But it was very difficult when you're surrounded by a congregation who loves on you and needs you. You know, I would get calls at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, Pastor Ben. You know, and you respond to that, and then all of a sudden, you spend all day and all night and nobody calls. You know, and it seems like it feels like you don't exist anymore. They have forgotten you. But I thank the Lord because there have been many people that, you know, the Lord allowed them to say, hey, call Pastor Ben. And so I've had many calls. People from the old congregations call, say, how you doing? Oh, it's so good to see you. We've had visits from back in Illinois and Texas, and they come and see us and spend time with us. So that's been very, very good for us. But at first, it's very difficult.
Yeah. What gives your days meaning now that your career is behind you? Like that section, what gives you meaning now?
Well, you know, doing the transition from being very busy and very purposeful, all of a sudden, you know that you're not going to go back there. I get speaking engagements here and there and so on, and you have to find something that's going to have meaning. You know, I've discovered that a lot of friends of ours who are retired, they look for pleasure. They look for things that are going to be fun, things that they've never done before. Oh, you know, I never traveled, so I'm going to travel. I've never done this. I've never been here or there, or I'm going to buy myself this or that, or I'm going to sit down here at home and I hardly watch TV, and I'm going to watch TV now.
Yeah.
You know, and we didn't want to do that. So we wanted something meaningful, and that's why we ended up in Houston, because our son had moved there, and they had gotten pregnant, and they had a baby, little boy, and so they asked us if we would consider moving there. And so, after praying a long 1 minute, it seemed like we said, absolutely. You know, it's a grandson. We want to be there, and so God allowed us to buy a house right across the street. And so that brings a lot of meaning to us. We just, and now they have another baby, so we'll be taking care of two boys, and they're just a lot of fun. And I like to work with tools, Nathan, and so you know, I'm a tool guy. I just got a lathe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's for
wood lathe.
Yeah,
for wood.
What are you gonna make? Pens?
Yeah,
Don't people make pens?
No
or
pens. I
something?
can't write with it. You know,
Yeah,
so-
you can make me a Nate one.
Yeah.
I mean, we type. We don't write.
But I probably could, but I'm learning, you know.
That's
and
cool.
yeah.
Oh,
So I've made
neat.
bowls and vases
Oh, cool.
and different things that
Yeah.
He actually been doing that with the grandkids too, which
That's
is kinda
really
neat.
cool.
yeah, so I brought it with me, and
Oh,
so
you did?
yeah, I brought it with me, and so when I got to Missouri, where one of our daughters lives, I spent the whole the 12 days that we were there. Come on, kids!
Wow.
And so put the
How
couch.
big is one of those?
There you have a mini, you have a
Okay.
midi, and then you have a bigger lathe.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so I have a midi,
Uh-huh.
and so
That's
it's
real
been
cool.
fun, and
Yeah.
I've spent time with Nathan's son Isaac, my grandson, and we're working on a vase. That's what he wants to make.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neat. Well, let me ask you this question, Ben. What is it then would you say that pulls you out of bed in the morning now that you're retired? And maybe it may be the same thing as it, I mean, not like an emergency call, but like it could be the same thing that it was when you were in full-time ministry. Maybe it was just, it's a new day. You're going to attack whatever it is that is to come today. But how would you answer that question? What is it each day that you feel like kind of gets you up and gets you going?
You know, in ministry, Nathan, you get so busy. You get up in the morning, you go out to the office, and you're there It's a long day for pastors.
Yeah.
And it was very taxing on faith for me to be away,
Sure.
and her sometimes not knowing when is he going to get home.
Yeah.
And so that was very taxing. So I would say, first of all, that I love to get up in the morning knowing that I'm going to spend my day with faith.
Good. Yeah.
And we have such a good time. And we go shopping together. We go everywhere together.
That's great.
We try to.
Yeah.
And so we've got a lot of things that we do, besides our exercise and daily routines. I like to help her cook.
That's great.
Although she doesn't like me to do that very, very much, but she's an excellent cook. But yeah, and I like to go outside, and I'm a people person.
Yeah.
And so I stop people that are walking by. I've met
That's
my
so
son
good.
and daughter-in-law are just amazed that I know almost all the community where we live, because I stop them. If they're walking, not too long, I stopped a guy going in a car and I put out my hand out, stop, I've seen him drive by all the time.
Wow.
And so I stopped him and got to meet him.
That's
So
neat.
that's my motivation in the morning to see where God is going to use me and
Sure.
to say something, to touch someone
Yeah.
along the way during that day.
When we went on the cruise recently with him, like I was like really enjoying just not being. I'm like talking to people. I still did talk to a lot of people, but the cruise ship practically knew Ben. We would walk in the hot tub. Hey Ben, let me introduce you to somebody, and then we go to dinner, and someone said, "Hey Ben," and I'm like, "What in the world?" But it's just who he is. He looks at every opportunity.
Maybe you could
as
become a
chance.
pastor
Yeah.
on a cruise
I
ship.
know, there you go. It's
Here we
so
go.
funny.
Could be a
So,
new ministry.
how do you want your time to be remembered in this next chapter? Like, how do you want? What do you want with that?
Wow, that's a tough question. I think the things that I value, number one, I value family quite a bit, and when you ask about how do I want to be remembered, I want my grandkids and my son-in-laws and daughter-in-law to remember me as a father who was intentional with love. And we want, Faith and I sit down and plan, okay, we're going to go spend time with this family and that family and so on. And so I want to be remembered as an intentional person. I think I've lived that way. I've intended to speak to people about salvation, and I make a plan for that. I take opportunity to do that as much as I can. I want to be remembered as well as the person who lived and not just existed. A person who is proactive and not just reactive. I want to be the one that makes things happen, not just is it going to come or not? And I don't want to be reactive. And I also want to be remembered as a person who laughed. And laughter is so healthy. And live life and laugh with life and be proactive in whatever you want to accomplish.
Ben, you do a good job on that. Just so you know, we do see it, and you are intentional with the grandkids. Like even you guys choosing to come and visit us, and you make it a priority, and it's significant. Like the kids will always remember you. You will not be forgotten because of just you and Faith's example and just the way you do life. You've impacted us all, man. So
yeah, and I don't want it just to be a memory. I hope and pray that some of that will transfer over to your lives and to the life of our children, and for them to just follow the example, not just that's what he was, but to be able to send some of those traits on down to the grandchildren.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we were on that cruise recently, and we were, I don't know if you remember, we were talking to that one guy talking about retirement and all that stuff. And and it seems like it says, are you living in a vacation mode or a calling mode is what I call it. And that one guy that we were talking to is definitely in a vacation mode. And,
Mhm.
but there's also a calling mode. And what is that for you? Like, how would you say that is for you in your retirement?
I would hate to fall into the category of vacation, because life is God given, and I want to have purpose in my life. I just don't want to just. Are there things to enjoy? Absolutely. But there's so much more to life than just the pleasures. The Bible talks about the pleasures of the world, and they're so fleeting. Do I enjoy them? Absolutely. But to focus on the pleasures of this world, there's so much more. What can you build? What can you do? And although I can't continue in ministry, I hope that my life, every day of my life, is ministerial. That I'm either ministering to faith during our devotional time, during our prayer time, that I minister to my neighbors. I'm praying for one of my neighbors who he needs the Lord, and he is becoming a very dear friend. He stops by the house almost every day.
Wow.
And we chat for a while, and he's also retired. And so I want to always be doing something. I don't want to sit in the rocker and rock my life away.
Yeah.
Which we don't. We enjoy watching TV. We don't enjoy it until the late in the evening. So we take 2 hours in the evening to watch something that we enjoy, but that's about it. So
You started coaching a little bit too.
yeah.
Why don't you share a little bit about that? I thought that's
Yeah, I
pretty neat.
said, again, looking for something to do. On one occasion, I think I was here in Michigan with you, and you talked to me about coaching, life coaching, and so I got interested. We enrolled in a course, which it was a little pricey, especially for my tight pocket. But we took the plunge, and some dear friends helped us with financially to take the course. So we did, and wow, it was so exciting. And again, now I'm looking at, hey, I'm going to tie back into ministry, and you get a niche to who are you going to coach? Who you want, a businessman? Who you can coach anybody. But Faith and I decided that we wanted to coach pastors.
Cool.
And especially pastors back in Mexico. So actually, Nate, I've gone international with coaching.
Yeah.
And so we're coaching some pastors in Mexico, and just having a delightful time. And I feel so fulfilled
Yeah.
doing that, and we'll call it ministry.
It is
But that
ministry.
coaching, and
Yeah.
just have loved it.
You did something too where you're now like doing some funerals too. Explain
That's
that.
right.
pretty neat.
Yeah. So when I got to Houston, I thought, there have to be families who don't have a pastor, and so I went to, I believe, 5 funeral homes around where I live, and I left them a short resume and told them, this is what I can do for you. Well, I didn't hear from them. I didn't hear from them for about 3 months. I go, come on. I mean, somebody's got to be dying. And so they were. I mean, they're I don't know how many deaths per day.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And so, well, I guess everybody has a pastor, but that was not true. And so one day I get a call from a guy, and he says, hey, the funeral home such and such with such and such a person gave me your name. And so they invited me to become a celebrant. And a celebrant is what they do. And so we celebrate. We are given the assignment of writing up a life story
Wow.
for the person. And so you meet, I meet with a family for 2 solid hours about that, just asking them questions about the person.
Yeah.
Our goal is to write up a story about the deceased so well that people are going to think that I was
You
their
knew
best
them.
friend or I knew them.
Wow.
And when people say, "Hey, did you know this person personally?"
Yeah.
And that's
so
the best
cool.
compliment that we can get.
It's
But
like
that's
it's like
our job.
100 questions, isn't it, or something like that?
There are lots of questions. Yeah, it takes us 2 hours, 2 full hours. I go to their home and sit with them in their home, and then just let them talk about
That's amazing.
the deceased.
So then, do you then do like the funeral service? You're like the officiant or whatever.
So then, after I get all the answers, then I develop a service that's going to also have meaning.
Yeah.
Every song has to have meaning. The prayers have to be very related to the person. You know,
Where
maybe
they were
he loved gospel music, quartet music, let's say. And so I got to make sure that in the funeral we play quartet music,
that's
or
cool.
play his favorite songs and so on. So
Pretty cool.
yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah. And so I make a little extra change there, and so it helps out with retirement.
Good for you.
And
Yeah, good
so
for you.
so I'm enjoying that.
Good. Well, let me ask you this question. You talked a little bit ago about even doing like some woodworking on the lathe. Are there any other things that you've kind of got in the back of your mind, or like you've always dreamed about spending time learning how to do something or creating something, or, you know, picking up a new hobby? Is there anything else that you're thinking of these days?
Well, you know, along the way, I've picked up so many hobbies. But I love to work, like I said, with tools or
Yeah.
just create things or fix things.
Sure.
I'm not all that great
Mm-hmm.
in fixing things, but I try. I do a lot of my own things at home,
Okay.
so I maintain it. You know, I'm not one who's calling, you know, the plumber or
Repair
calling,
guy.
you know.
Yeah.
I try to get things done on my own.
Good for you.
And yeah, there are some things that I've never done. I would like to. I've been working on it. I would like to write a short book,
Sure.
and I've called it. I have it on my computer, and I call them Ben's memoirs.
Wow. That's awesome.
It's not going to be that, you know,
When it comes
Whatever.
out.
That big
I
of a
would buy it.
deal.
That's awesome.
but I've already started. I've never done that before. I catch myself looking up on a translator. I've always been interested in linguistics, in languages, and so I go back and I brush up on my French.
Wow.
It's gotten very rusty and dusty, and so I like to go back and go through some of that stuff, and then I've added on there. You know, I like to learn Italian.
Jeez.
Faith is a part Italian,
Oh, is
so
it really?
yeah. So
Okay.
I find myself almost on a daily basis, you know, looking for words and
Yeah.
trying to learn a little bit. I don't think you're ever too old.
No,
So-
you're gonna live forever. I mean, because
know.
that's what they say. Like when
Yeah.
you keep, you know,
that sharp.
yeah, you keep your mind sharp by learning new things, and you're gonna keep going. So.
Yeah, my favorite puzzle is I do it almost every day. I haven't done it because I've stayed busy just visiting with Lindsay and the kids during this time. But I try to do a puzzle, 2, maybe 3 puzzles per day.
Wow.
And Sudoku.
That's
and
amazing.
some of them, I'm
Yeah.
getting into the very difficult ones now. And it frustrates me because I can't get
I
it.
have never done one of those.
He's always had it, man. Like,
Wow.
what's it so
Yeah,
neat?
good for
And
you.
even looking in, like, at that stuff, you're just like, wow, he really wants to make sure his mind
That's
sharp. It's
so
such
good,
a
yeah.
testament to each of
Yeah,
us.
I like numbers.
Yeah.
Do you?
I was going to be a math major.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah, and then I switched over to languages.
Okay.
And so, yeah. But yeah, those are some of the things that of course, I do gardening as well. I like that. I do, right now, I've got a landscaping project that we're
Oh,
doing at the
really?
house.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I stay busy
It's
with those
different
things.
though.
Yeah.
You know, like when you live in a climate like Houston,
Oh,
you
my
get to
goodness.
like work out in your yard all year long.
Now you
and-
just go grab a shovel over here.
yeah, it's like
You gotta
here
get
you get about
ice.
3
You gotta get
months to
salt
try to
get that
take care of
ice
your
off
yard.
driveway. I mean, jeez.
Uh,
How about this one, Ben? Who are you connecting with and how are you staying rooted in community? Because, like, in retirement, it's different. You had that, like, this is something I think about. Like, when I'm a pastor, I got community all around me. But when I'm not a pastor, what does that community look like? What does it look like going to church? What does it look like? Like, what's that like for you right now?
You know, it was interesting how when you leave the pastorate, you lose a whole congregation. It's like having their family, and you know a lot of their stories. And then when you step away into retirement, hello, anybody home? You know, and nobody's seeking you out. So you have to, in retirement, I've had to go out and look for community. So we wanted to get connected. We got connected to a church, but you know they're all screaming for the pastor, and you're in the congregation. You're saying, "Hey, I could help."
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't want you. They want the pastor, and I'm just another one of the congregants.
Wow.
And so, but what we've done, we found a very, very good life group,
That's good.
and we got connected with them, and you know they mean the world to us, and we do a lot of things outside life group. So that has been a very, very good connection. The other thing is that I stayed busy, and Faith will tell you this. She'll find me connecting with old friends. I'm very intentional on the phone. There are people who I connect with once a year only. There are those who I connect once a month, and there are those who I connect with more than that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I try to keep connected, again, because I'm a people person. I need that.
Yeah.
And then being with Faith and all her family, we stay connected with our family as well. So that's where we find community. The second thing would be that, like I mentioned before, I stop people on the, you know,
That's so good.
they could be on the road, on the street, and I'll stop them. If I've stopped students going home from school, asking them how did their day go, and
That's cool.
you know, I'm a riddle man as well, so I stop them and I, you know, do you have
Imagine
time?
me with riddles,
Yeah.
dude. Just think about that when he gives me a riddle.
Yeah, do you have time?
Let's do one right now.
Can I do you a riddle? You know, yeah.
Give Nate one right now.
Oh, my.
That's cool.
You know what half of 2 + 2 is? Right?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
What's half of 2 + 2?
I'd say 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be absolutely wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's 3. Half of 2 + 2.
I still don't.
Oh,
Half
half
of
of 2
two
is 1.
Is 1
Plus 2.
plus 2 is
Oh,
3.
Gosh.
Yeah.
See, I'm not good at those. I get it, but I'm not good at
He
those.
did one to one of the kids in our church yesterday, and it was the easiest one, and I got it, but he was stumped, dude. He could not get it.
I'm gonna ask
Like,
that one
so
to
crazy.
a couple of my kids and see if they know that.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this one. We're kind of coming to the close here, but what wisdom have you gained that you'd like to pass on? What kind of wisdom have you gained that you'd like
That's
to
a
pass
really
on?
easy question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me it's very hard. But
No, I'm kidding.
wow, you know, we would have to define wisdom. Sometimes I think there are some things that, you know, yeah, I have a lot of wisdom. Well, really, you know, I think about Solomon. They said he was very wise.
Mm-hmm.
And how many wives did he end up with?
Yeah.
You know what
Not a lot
happened?
of wisdom
Wow.
there.
Well, yeah, I can barely do it with faith, you know. I think what I've learned along the way is take the wisdom from others. You know, there are some great philosophers out there, some great writers, great thinkers, and so I've tried to at least grab a little nugget from them and then just live by that. For example, I remember coming across just a statement at a conference somewhere, and it said, plan your work and work your plan. So I've tried to do that in my life. You know, you plan it out. Just coming here to Michigan, we had to have a plan. So we had to have a plan. Okay, how much is it going to cost? Do we fly? Do we drive? You know, and so we go through all those details, and that's part of the plan.
Yeah.
But I learned that way back in the day. Another little thing that I heard was a short pencil is better than a long memory. A short pencil is better than a long memory. Wow. And so write things down. You're going to forget. Especially at my age, you forget. So I have to write things down, and that I got that years ago. So I've got. If you say to me, Ben, you have a lot of wisdom, it's not my wisdom. I've just picked up a nugget here, and I've kept it, and I've applied it into my life. But my favorite one, Nathan, has been do today what others won't, so you can live tomorrow where others can't.
That's good.
So you get up in the morning when you don't want to. When everybody else is asleep, you wake up, you get up and get going. So that's probably my favorite piece of advice or wisdom that I've held on to. And the other one is that, you know, live your life. You know, there's a lot to live, and live it. Do your exercises. By golly, eat well. You know, take care of yourself. Because this is the life that God has given you. So, for me, you know, it's not for everybody, but for me, I try to stay healthy. I take my vitamins. I do exercise, and you know, and probably not as much as the next guy over here.
Not as much as me and Nate. But get us in trouble here.
So I try to stay healthy, physically, mentally, and spiritually as well. The three areas, what I call the essence of life. So I work on each one of those.
That's really good, Ben. So appreciate you being here today. We have one kind of final opportunity for you. If you could look into the camera right over here. And so the question would just kind of be, you know, Pastor Ben, what encouragement would you offer to those who maybe are approaching retirement, or maybe they're already in retirement, in trying to help them to like identify what their purpose might be? I mean, of course, every single person might have a different purpose, you know, for how God wants to use them in retirement. But if this is a new season in life for someone, what would be some of the things that you would say to them, like right from the start?
I would say to them, don't be afraid of retirement. A lot of people are afraid. I have an older brother who just retired.
Wow.
I think he was a little bit afraid of, you know, should I retire or not? And actually, I have two brothers who are in the same boat, and because their life has been full of work and meaning. They've made a difference in the world, and but retirement can be such a blessing. But retirement needs to be with a purpose. You have to have a purpose for it. You have to have a plan. I read a book on retirement before I retired. One of the first things the author suggests, he said, take your watch off, get rid of it.
Wow.
And I don't know why he said that. I don't remember why he said that. But as soon as I retired, I got my watch and put it in.
That's cool.
In the dresser, you know, and I haven't worn a watch since.
Wow.
And maybe that's why I was late today.
We weren't going to say that.
But yeah, you know, it's, you know,
beautiful.
Relax.
Yeah.
You know, life isn't the time clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so don't be afraid to go into it, but do have a plan. You must have a plan. If you don't have a plan, somebody always has a plan for you.
Yeah.
If you don't make a plan for your money,
Yeah.
somebody else, you just sit at the TV, they have a plan for your money.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's out wanting to take your money.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you get around Nate, he has a plan for your money. And so, yeah, so if you're going to retirement, I encourage you going to retirement with a plan, you know, and know what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Volunteer.
Awesome.
There's always something that you can do. Read when you've never were a reader.
Yeah.
Read. There's so much. Learn something. But give. And then I think I would end up with saying, you've been, maybe if you're a Christian, you've been a Christian a long time, continue to seek the Lord. Continue to seek Him. When I retired, Nathan, I'll be upfront with you. I kind of put the brakes on my spirituality. I said, oh, you know, I'll do my devotionals later.
Yeah.
I've got time.
Okay,
And then the day would end as, whoops, I forgot my devotionals.
Yeah.
And then, and if you don't resolve that, that's going to become a habit.
Yeah.
And I found myself that I had to fight right back into it. I said, you know, I know I'm going to spend time with the Lord.
Great.
And so yeah, those are some of the things that I would try to encourage people. Get into it, but seek the Lord with all your heart.
Yeah.
Retirement doesn't have to be the end. It can be something beautiful. It can be something like, I think people look, retirement, it's horrible. I'm going to retirement. I'm excited, but I'm not. But it can be something beautiful.
Absolutely. And you know, life brings those tragedies into our lives where you might lose a spouse. And then it's like retirement. That's what it feels like. Then all of a sudden, you're all alone. And you have to fight that. You have to get busy, you know. It's okay to grieve, and you should grieve. But after a while, you need to get back in there and live the days that God has given you, assigned to you.
That's right.
So,
So much good today.
Yeah,
man.
it was really
So many
good.
Good words. Yeah.
Ben's
Yeah.
preaching here too at our church coming up too on
Next
Sunday.
Yeah.
So
Next Sunday. We're
anybody who
excited
wants
about
to
that.
be a part of that, he's going to be preaching at 9/11
Yep.
on this coming Sunday, actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll be preaching, just to give a heads up. I'll be preaching on the new year.
Okay. Cool.
Kind of the new year. We can apply it to the new year. What are we gonna do with it? And I'll be speaking on Paul and how he looked back at his life pre Christ, before he met Christ on the Damascus Road, and his life was changed. And he looked back at his life. He was doing good according to his plan. He was persecuting the Christians
Oh yeah.
who weren't Jews, and so so I'll be speaking on that. And
It's gonna be good.
may the
Sounds
Lord-
good.
yeah. And we got a Christmas Eve service today.
Yeah, tonight. Or,
Yeah,
I mean, I guess
yeah,
this afternoon,
yeah.
3 and 5. So we want to encourage and invite all those who maybe weren't planning to come out today. And you'll get to hear a great message from me.
Yeah, buddy.
yes,
Just kidding.
yes.
Can't really say that about yourself. though.
But you'll do a good job.
No,
You're
it's going to be a
prepared.
great service. We've got a
Yeah.
great service planned, and we'd love to encourage you and your families to come out. And also, if you don't have a church and you live in this local area, we'd love to encourage you to come to Stoney Church. God's just doing some incredible things in this season of ministry, and we're excited about that. As always, too, if you're encouraged by this podcast, make sure that you share this. We're on Amazon, YouTube, Spotify, of course, Apple as well. So a lot of different platforms that you can share this from. We're going to give Ben in just a second an opportunity to pray just for the audience, especially anybody that might be in retirement, entering retirement. Pray for Nate and I, too, that we'll have wisdom. Do you
Like
think
Ben-
it's too
like
early?
Ben.
Do you think
Like-
it's too early for us to retire?
No,
that
sometimes
be
we want.
possible?
Sometimes we want to, but no.
I'm just kidding.
Wow,
Ben,
we're
it's been so
excited.
great, man.
So
Honestly,
encouraging,
love
Ben.
having you here.
Thank you, guys.
And appreciate your heart. And that's one thing that retirement hasn't changed for you, is the heart that you have, the passion you have for the Lord, and just the heart you have for people, loving people, and that's so awesome to see. So, yeah, Ben, would you just pray for our listeners today as we close? Just pray that God would continue to bless them and give them purpose, give them vision and wisdom. Yeah.
Thank you, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Father, we are so grateful for life. We're so grateful that you give us opportunities every day as we wake up with a new day. We know that it is providential, that we have something ready, something to do, because we have taken time with you to sit down and to plan. Lord, if there's anyone out there who is fearing retirement, it might be because there is no plan. It might be because they are discouraged. It might be because there's a financial need and they're afraid that they won't have enough. Lord, would you remind them that you are our Father, that you'll take care of them? Will you remind them that you are the source? You own the cattle on 1,000 hills, as the psalmist would say. And all we have to do is say, Father, would you sell another one of your cattle so that I can have and fulfill my needs? Now, Lord, I pray that you would give us encouragement that we so much need as we go into retirement. Sometimes those around us are maybe young people or those that are right in the middle of life. They have a different way. Father, help us to step aside when we must, for others to take the lead. Help us to be listeners. Help us to be encouragers. Lord, there's a different role that we must fill in retirement. So bless our retirees. May we see a wave of movement from them as we all get busy and try to serve you, try to serve our community, and try to be a blessing to those around us. Father, may we be able to say like Paul, I have finished the race. We want to finish well. So give us the strength, give us the courage. We ask all of this in your Son's precious name. Amen and amen.
Amen. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We're so glad that you're here.
If this message spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself.
Share it with a friend. Help somebody grow in our podcast community.
We'd love to see you this Sunday at Stoney Church.
Services at 9 or 11 a.m. And don't forget,
We're dropping the next episode Wednesday at noon.
Hit subscribe so you don't miss it,
join us then, and until next time,
Stay inspired.
and see you soon.